What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tammy Talks. So I'm back with another review recap from Married at First Sight. This is season 13, I believe, episode 5. So we're finally done with seeing all the weddings, all the aftermath of the weddings, all of the let's meet the family, let's have these awkward brunches the next morning. We're done with that. They're now at the honeymoon in the Florida Keys. Alrighty. So we're at the honeymoon down in the Florida Keys. So this is the first full day of the honeymoon. So they're waking up the next morning. I feel like the nerves are kind of gone now. Some of the initial jitters are gone. So it actually makes the episodes more enjoyable to watch. We're not cringing so hard at how they're taking pictures and doing all this other stuff. So I'm gonna kind of go couple by couple just because I think it's a little easier that way. So starting with Michaela and Zach, since we really didn't get much about them this episode. Zach has COVID. Zach said that he had been feeling sick, lethargic, tired for the past 5 days or so. So I guess I'm kind of wondering, so did you feel that way before you got married and still went through with it and still didn't get tested? So that's a little concerning because you could have given her COVID. Michaela's test has come back negative, so, good job for that. But Michaela's behavior. So, okay, I want to like Michaela. She looks like tons of fun, but I feel like Michaela is more concerned with being married, having the title of wife, being able to say that's my husband, than she really is when it comes to the idea of being married. Because she kept talking about how this is my honeymoon. I don't want to spend my honeymoon alone. Meanwhile, Zach is laid up, breathing hard, voice raspy. He looks sick. And it just kind of feels like she's more concerned with the fact that her honeymoon is now ruined than she is about the fact that he's sick. Not once did we hear her ask him, how are you feeling? Not once did we hear her say, oh my God, I hope you feel better. The entire time was, I want to be around you. I want to be around you. We can still be in the same room. Michaela's real thirsty. She's acting real thirsty. She's being real thirsty. And girl, you just don't have to. It's not cute. So then Michaela ends up leaving. Now, I guess I didn't understand this. So she leaves and goes back to Houston. And I guess I was kind of wondering, why didn't she just stay? Stay in, you can be in a different room from Zach. Enjoy the trip. It's paid for already. Go by the pool, relax, have some me time. And in that way, you guys can, talk through the wall or something. There just had to be, to me, I think, a better solution than her just going home and then us having to hear her complain about it every time they do their little selfie confessional. But that was Zach and Michaela. I know with COVID, you don't necessarily have to quarantine for the entire 14 days. Oh shoot, when was this filmed though? Nonetheless, I hope that they're not separated too long, and we are able to see them get the full experience, and they're able to spend enough time together to where they can really make a true informed decision on decision day. So that's Zach and Michaela. Nothing to talk about with them. Let's do Bao and Johnny. I don't like Bao. I haven't liked Bao since she caused that fit about the gift that Johnny sent her, the pre-wedding gift, where she was just so befuddled that someone would send her a sports jersey. Since that moment, when she kept saying, I wanted a brilliant mind, as if brilliant minds and Nobel Peace Prize winners and scientists and neurosurgeons, as if they don't like sports, or as if they can't like sports. So Bao is embarrassed that she snores. I snore. Well, I used to snore. So I just had my tonsils removed a couple of months ago. I've been told I don't snore anymore, which is awesome. But I snore. I remember getting my tonsils out and stayed with my parents the night before the surgery so they could drop me off at the hospital early in the morning. And my parents said that my snoring sounded so bad that they were like concerned. It's okay. People snore. My dad snores. I have friends that snore. So when we have gone on trips, you can hear them snoring. It's just not a big deal. But Bao said that she's so insecure about it that when she was younger, she went to like some kind of camp and she was a counselor and she didn't sleep the entire time she was there. Absolutely not. No, it's natural. And Johnny told her it's natural. It's just something about you. Be like it's okay. So Bao was like suggesting that they sleep in separate rooms. Now, for you, Johnny, now you've brought it up. You said that you're a light sleeper. You're not used to it. You're okay with it. Don't bring up the snoring no more. Don't bring it up no more. Let Bao have it. Johnny planned like a cute little date for him and Bao to go hang out on it's not a beach, but to hang out on the sand. To hang out on the sand around their hotel. He called Jose to help him pick out an outfit for Bao. Just Jose. I'm not gonna say it, but Johnny, we all know what you were doing. But he called Jose to come pick out an outfit for Bao. He wanted to surprise her. So they go out. The shirt was like a double X large. And I feel like Bao irritates me. So she gets this shirt, and instead of her being like, oh my God, it's so sweet, she's like, oh, you bought something? It's the wrong size. Why did you pay full price? You didn't take the tag off. And it's like, girl, just thank you. Thank you for the sweet gesture. It's really all it takes. No one should be shocked why Bao's ass is single. But Johnny is really scared that Bao doesn't like him. He said that he gets mixed signals from her. One minute she's hot, one minute she's cold. You know, they still have the body pillow between them when they sleep. So he's so scared of like putting his all into it and even bringing up the topic because he thinks that Bao is going to like kind of reject him and he's going to shut down. Bao does this like dramatic pause, could be editing, but he does this like dramatic pause and she's like, oh no, the feeling is mutual. So later that night they're in bed and Johnny is just like trying to get close to her. He wants to cuddle her. He wants the physical affection. And they're having this like good conversation where they were like, you know what, we don't need the body pillow anymore. Bao tries to use the excuse of, I thought you needed to sleep with it, Johnny. And he was like, no. Bao doesn't like him. Because the moment they start talking about, you know, intimacy or something like that, she suddenly wants to bring up the snoring thing and how it bothers her. So it kind of feels like she creates these issues whenever they are about to start getting a little closer so that she can push some distance between them. I don't know if they're going to last. I mean, on the preview for next episode, we see Johnny being disgusted that Bao does not rinse off in the shower or take a shower. I don't understand what's wrong with people. Why don't y'all like water to touch your skin? And then Bao said that she has a swimsuit like addiction where she buys a bunch of swimsuits. So you're walking around in swimsuits musty? Next up, Brett and Ryan. I don't care for them as a couple. Ryan is weird. Ryan is weird. Apparently, on last week's episode, they talked about how Brett has a fear of flying. And as a result of that, she like kind of freaked out on the plane. I'm a person that I don't like flying at all. I just don't. It makes me nervous. My heart races when I'm like descending or ascending. I've never liked flying. But you know what? I do it because it's a quicker way to get places. You know what I mean? I went to Jamaica. We can't drive to Jamaica. So like I have no problem flying. Which I don't think Brett does either. She just has a fear about it, a phobia about it. But it's a little irritating that they're not telling us what she did on the plane, that Ryan is still talking about it. Like, was she screaming? Did she pass out? Did they have to buckle her in? Was she holding on and being pulled out? And like, what happened on the plane that Ryan said that if they were dating, that would be it. He would never date that person. So I'm kind of irritated that they're not showing that, but they keep talking about it. Ryan wants kids. He said he's ready to start having kids now. He wants twins. He wants a boy, boy, girl. That's what he wants. Brett, on the other hand, is indifferent about kids. If her husband does not want kids, she's fine with that. If her husband does want kids, she's fine with that as well. I guess for Ryan, initially that was kind of a red flag, but hearing her say that she was okay with having kids, he's now okay with it. I've said before, Ryan is dead inside. Ryan has no personality. Ryan lacks basic social skills. Ryan could still be mourning the loss of his friend that just died. Ryan is dry. I wouldn't be able, like, it's like pulling teeth. On the other hand, Brett keeps wanting to have these, like, super deep conversations with him. You don't have to have the hard conversations yet. You just don't have to. Not just yet. It's okay for you guys to be on your honeymoon and have fun and just enjoy each other, enjoy the resort, kind of find out, like, fun things about each other, what you guys do. Like, oh, I like this type of bread. Oh, okay, cool. You know, my favorite color is red. You can do fun stuff like that without it being like, so do you want kids? Do you want kids in the next 2 years? Like, you don't have to do that. You guys have time for that. It's the honeymoon. Relax. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Ryan is, like, ready for sex. He's ready to have sex. Brett says she has not been physically intimate with somebody in 2 years. She's not going to come in and strip right away for you, sir. So I was just happy that Ryan didn't bring up her damn red hair again this episode, because anytime someone talks to him about Brett, it's always like, woo, that red hair. It's either good or it's bad. And it's like, it's dyed hair, sir. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Ryan and Brett, I don't think they're going to work, just because Ryan is looking for something very specific. And Brett has a very strong personality. And I just don't see Brett bending that much for Ryan in the way that he wants. Remember, he was, like, low-key pissed that she didn't want to do, like, the hokey pokey, or what was it, like a Texas two-step with him at their wedding, because she's not a big dancer. So I don't know. They keep saying that they like each other. I don't see chemistry between them. It is still very, very early though. So I'm not going to count them out. They're like a toss-up for me. Josiah and Rachel. Jose is, they're not going to work. And I think it's because Jose is very overbearing. And Rachel lives by the mantra of the Boosie song, INDEPEN. That's Rachel. She said her father once told her that she needs to be independent before going into a marriage. Have your degree, have a job, have your own, have savings, have a life for yourself before going and getting married. Because we've seen this happen before, where if a man is the sole provider, he's the one paying all the bills, he's the one making all the money. If you guys divorce and he takes everything because everything is his. So I get that, Rachel, but at the same time, you gotta relax, girl. You have to relax. So Rachel was upset that Jose wanted to brush her teeth. I thought it was a joke. Maybe it was not. I thought he was joking when he said that. That was just something like conversation-wise. That bothered her. She's upset at the fact that he keeps wanting to feed her. It is traditional at a wedding that the bride and the groom feed each other cake. It's okay. She's acting like every time they sit down to have a meal, he is sitting down like, all right, let me cut it for you. Let me scoop it up. And he's doing that. And he, from what we can see, he hasn't done that. Um, Rachel just seems to, I don't think Rachel likes Jose, to be honest. I just don't think she likes him as much as she's trying to force herself to. And I mean, I've said what everyone else has said about Jose. He's forcing himself to like Rachel. They seem to have a lot of things in common. I think they would be great best friends or just great friends in general. But as a couple, it's some major things that are differences. Jose, I wrote down Jose is stuck on this as a man, as the head of the household, as a man, me as a man. Like he says that for everything. So because Jose has his life like super together, where he owns his house, he's not in debt, he's very good with financials, he's good with money. He wants to just provide for her. He wants to pay all the bills. He wants to do all of this stuff for her because to him, that makes him a man. Whereas Rachel is like, I want to pay half the bills. I want to pay half of this, which is fine. If you want to pull your weight in the relationship and in the marriage, that's great. But you guys have to come to some common ground. I feel like this happens every single season where someone owns a house. It's typically one of the men that owns a house and they want their new wife to move in with them. And a lot of these wives have this resistance to where, well, it's your house. I'm moving in to your house. I feel like it won't be like any part of me. Girl, get in there and redecorate. Get a new couch. Suggest that y'all paint an accent wall. You pick out some new artwork. Like you guys have to get past this thing of, oh, we're gonna move in, and I just feel like we should move into a different house. That just doesn't make sense. Another part that like really, really, really pissed me off was, so Rachel approaches Jose and she's like, we need to talk. I'm not really good with budgeting and finances, and I know that you are, and all this other stuff. And he's like, yeah, okay. So, I mean, in his mind, he already wants to pay for everything. But in his mind, he was probably thinking, okay, well, I can help her get stuff straight. So he suggested, which I thought was a good suggestion, he suggested, well, how about if you don't want to share accounts, you still want to have a separate account for yourself. We have a joint one where we both pull from to pay the bills. How about, we see your account. I pull out what we need for the bills for the month, and then you can have the rest to do whatever you want to. She didn't like that idea. She said that that's like giving her an allowance. Why did you bring it up? Why did you bring it up? I want to know. Like, what was the point of bringing it up for you to, like, you literally told this man that you used your credit card because you wanted to go to Europe that damn bad. So my thing is, why bring up that you have issues with budgeting and you're not good at it if you don't want his help? Whew, Rachel is going to get on my nerves. Rachel is going to get on my nerves, and it's because she's trying so hard to be independent and not lose herself in this marriage. You're going to lose your man, and then you're going to be back to square one. And then finally, Mirla and Gill. So, one of the things that I really hate, and that really bothers me about Married at First Sight, is this is a rushed situation. You are literally meeting somebody. You're signing up for this show with the guys, with the understanding that you are going to meet somebody and you are going to marry that person after laying eyes on them. So it bothers me when people come on this show and off rip, they're like, well, I move very slowly in relationships. I move very slow. And it's kind of like, if you move slow in relationships and you don't want physical touch and sex and kissing and all that stuff because it takes you a while as a person, which is okay as a person, but This is not the show for you. And I'm not saying that they should all be off rip on the first night smashing, but if you have a problem with at least kissing within the first couple of days that you're meeting somebody, then this probably is just not the show for you. Because Mirla keeps saying how she moves very slow in relationships, which is fine, Mirla. But why are you on this show? Why'd you go to this show? So Mirla, it's like a love and hate relationship with her. So I understand that the hotel sucks. I understand that the breakfast sucked. I understand that this is not where you would have picked to go for your honeymoon, but this is free. All of this is free, sweetheart. And I feel like when you are on a free trip, what are you complaining for? Granted, the hotel, it sucks. In past years, we have seen them go to resorts and islands. I mean, they went to Vegas last year, right? I feel like they could have just sent them back to Vegas. Does it have to be a beach? Why can't they send them to, I don't know, Colorado? Why can't they get a cabin? Why didn't they send them to California? Well, why didn't they just send them to a beach in Florida? But to complain about it is one thing, because I would feel a way too about where they sent us. But I kind of feel like at the same time, you complained about it, you aired your grievances about it. Don't bring the shit up no more. Because no one wants to hear you complain about the same thing all the time. And Gill is nicer than me, because I'd have been told her to shut up. You're just not that upset about it. This is free. This is free. And I like that he asked her, so are you here for the trip or are you here for me? Because he was saying how he doesn't care where they stay or where they are, because his main focus is getting to know her and spending time with her, his new spouse. So Mirla complained about the breakfast. She was upset that there was no protein, no eggs, no meat option. It was a croissant and some fruit. If you want something else, then order something else. She did not want to drink cow's milk. She likes almond milk. So you made Gill taste the milk to see if it was almond or cow. Are you not able to tell? Are you not able to drink it for yourself and tell? Are you lactose intolerant? Is that why? Because I can't think of any other reason why Gill would have to drink that milk to tell you, yep, this is whole milk. It's 2%. Like, it was just stupid. And then what really got me is the fact that she is proud of the fact that she's whiny. She acknowledges the fact that she's whiny, and she's proud of it. She's like, yeah, I whine a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then turned around and said that it bothered her that Gill does not complain about stuff. That he is very go with the flow. No, ma'am. Just because you like to complain about stuff, you like to bitch about things, you like to whine about stuff, does not mean that Gill has to do the same. And I think that's what I don't like about Mirla. It's one thing for you to be very straightforward, know what you want out of life, know what you like, know what you don't like. It's another to be a bitch about it. And I just feel like she's very bitchy in the way that she comes across as whiny. So Gill goes down to meet with the other couples, Sans, Zach, and Michaela. And Mirla was upstairs working. You weren't working, sweetheart. You weren't working. Mirla was upstairs pouting because she didn't want to be there. Because she didn't want to go down to the fenced-in pool area that looked like they were at the Holiday Inn. She didn't want to go there. If they had been in the Cayman Islands or the Bahamas or somewhere like, Tulum, where I feel like everybody went during COVID, they should have sent them there. But if they would have been there where it was a beach, Mirla would not have had to do any work. She would not have been working on the honeymoon. So Gill is down at the pool, and Gill was yapping. Woo! Gill was down there. Yeah, she's high maintenance, and she doesn't like this. She doesn't like that. Like, really going in. And it's kind of like, you can tell you ain't been in a relationship in several years, Gill, because this is not what you do. You don't badmouth your spouse to other strangers. Because y'all, let's be real, everybody there is a stranger. So you're bad-mouthing her to these strangers. Then he drew her face on the volleyball that they were hitting around and playing within the water. And it's like, girl, Gill, you are doing a lot. Side note, during this whole little meet up with all the couples, Jose and Rachel are just all over each other kissing, and it's just like y'all are putting on. Jose, you're trying to project a certain image that you think people should see of you, and Rachel, you are trying to force yourself to like that man. So Mirla says she doesn't kiss on the first date or on the first several dates with people. I think she said the first 3 or 4 dates. And Gill kind of asked her, how has that worked out for you in the past? What have you learned from your past relationships? Shade. We learned that Gill has been single for 6 years, and Mirla was like low-key disgusted by it. Girl, y'all are on the same show. That means you can't find nobody either, and we're seeing why. You complain a lot. Gill rented a seaplane to surprise Mirla with. She does not seem like the type that likes surprises, for one. She does not seem like the type that would want to do any type of like random activity like that, for two. So she said that she gets motion sickness. So they're up in the air. She's sitting like this, straightforward, like she's nervous, like she doesn't want to really touch Gill, doesn't want to get too close to Gill. And then I feel like they were up there for a couple minutes, and she asked for them to come back down. Gill like thanks her for doing it, even though she really didn't want to. She kept saying she didn't want to do it, but she did do it for Gill, which I thought was very nice of her as well. He surprises her with a like romantic kind of sit outside type vibe where they had champagne and macaroons. She liked the little bougie macaroons that he bought. He called her bougie. He said chocolate chip cookies are just fine. Macaroons are better than chocolate chip cookies. But so that was like cute little banter back and forth that they have with each other. They're both, I don't know if they're plain sarcastic, but there's a lot of shade laced in their back and forth banter. He called her high maintenance. And again, it could just be the edit that she's getting. But it feels like whenever he calls her high maintenance or bougie, she kind of looks irritated by it. But then they'll both say that they enjoy their back and forth and they're enjoying each other. He posed the question, would you prefer that I get you a Cartier bracelet, or would you prefer if I knitted you a quilt? She says the Cartier bracelet. I feel like that was a dumb question to ask. It was a dumb question to ask. Mirla and Gill are not going to work. They're not going to work. Easygoing people like that do have a breaking point. And I think Mirla's constant complaining about the littlest things are going to take Gill to the top. On top of the fact that he wants a kiss. He's like, he feels away because they're the only couple that is not kissed yet. So he kind of feels like they're lacking that, intimacy, because it takes her forever in the bathroom. She doesn't want to kiss. She doesn't do this on the first date. On top of her complaining about everything. On the flip side, Mirla, I don't think, is fast enough for Gill, in the respect that she likes glitz and glamour and all this other stuff, and Gill just doesn't seem to. He's content with the chocolate chip cookies and the cow's milk, and Mirla is a macaroon and almond milk type of person. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, share, leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to stay together, what you think about any of the couples or just any of the individuals, and catch you guys next week.